Rocky was a compilation of really great actors, almost born to play those parts. I couldn't fill that spot because it required incredible athleticism.
He was a Hollywood heartthrob, a name everyone recognized, with a career that skyrocketed him to fame. But then, everything changed. After a controversial decision to alter his appearance, his once iconic face became almost unrecognizable, leaving fans stunned and curious. Can you guess who this famous actor is? Keep watching to uncover the story behind his shocking transformation, background, and career beginnings. Born into modest surroundings, Sylvester Stallone grew up in a home where life revolved around hard work and simple values. His family instilled a strong work ethic, but the dream of performing seemed distant in those early days. Yet even as a child, his creativity stood out. Stallone had a knack for entertaining others, turning even mundane moments into something special. School became the first stage where his talents shone. From class projects to school plays, he took every chance to step into the spotlight. His charisma and enthusiasm caught the attention of teachers, who often encouraged him to explore the arts more seriously. One drama teacher in particular saw his potential and became an early mentor. At home, there wasn't always a clear understanding of Stallone's aspirations. Acting wasn't a traditional career path, and the family had no ties to the entertainment world. But even without a roadmap, the desire to perform grew stronger. By the time he was a teenager, Stallone was actively dreaming of a life in the arts, even though he knew the road would be far from easy. The dream began to take shape during high school. Participation in drama clubs and local productions offered a glimpse of what a career in acting might look like. With each performance, his confidence grew. The applause wasn't just validation, it was fuel. Despite his growing passion, the realities of pursuing acting loomed large. Where Stallone came from, the idea of making it as an actor seemed almost impossible. There were no agents, no industry insiders, and no family wealth to fall back on. But these challenges only made him more determined to succeed. One significant moment came during a school production where Stallone played the lead role. After the show, a teacher pulled him aside and said, "You have something special. Don't let it go to waste." That comment stayed with him, serving as a reminder to keep pushing forward, even when the odds seemed stacked against him. Early roles and struggles. After high school, he decided to take a leap of faith. Moving to a big city was the first step toward making their dream a reality. Armed with little more than ambition, he began attending auditions and taking any role they could get. The roles were small: extra work in commercials, a line or two in independent films, or parts in off-Broadway productions. These weren't the glamorous opportunities he had imagined, but they were essential stepping stones. Each role, no matter how insignificant, provided valuable experience and taught them about the industry. Auditions became a way of life. He spent hours in waiting rooms, surrounded by dozens of others hoping for the same role. Rejection was frequent, and feedback was rare. It wasn't uncommon to walk out of an audition feeling like they had nailed it, only to hear nothing back. But every audition was also a chance to learn and improve. His first paid gig was a minor role in a low-budget project. The paycheck barely covered expenses, but the pride of being paid to act was immeasurable. That small role led to another, then another. Slowly, they began to build a resume, even if it was far from impressive at the time. While he was starting to gain experience, life outside of acting was a constant struggle. Living in a city known for its high cost of living meant taking on multiple jobs to make ends meet. He worked as a barista in the mornings, a server in the evenings, and a babysitter on weekends. There were moments of doubt, nights spent wondering if he was chasing an impossible dream. Money was tight, and sacrifices were constant. He often skipped meals to afford acting classes or went without new clothes so they could pay for headshots. Friends pitched in when they could, but the pressure was unrelenting. Rejection became a regular part of life, but he refused to let it define them. Each no was seen as a stepping stone toward the eventual yes. They developed a thick skin and a relentless work ethic, knowing that success in the industry required perseverance. One of the lowest points came when he couldn't afford rent and had to sleep on a friend's couch for several weeks. Yet, even in those moments, they never stopped auditioning. They believed that every struggle was temporary and that the hard work would eventually pay off. That perseverance finally led to a breakthrough. They landed a role in a project that, while still modest, garnered attention. It was the kind of role that made people take notice. Their performance earned praise, and for the first time, they felt like they were on the right path. Breakthrough role. When Rocky came into Sylvester Stallone's life, it wasn't just another movie. It was a lifeline. At the time, he was struggling to make ends meet, barely scraping by as an aspiring actor. He was living in a small apartment, juggling rejection after rejection, and even sold his dog just to put food on the table. But Stallone wasn't just a man with a dream, he was a man with a story. And that story would become Rocky. The journey began with a late-night writing session. Stallone had just watched a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner, an underdog who stunned the world by going the distance with the heavyweight champ. Inspired, Stallone started typing, pouring his struggles and hopes into the character of Rocky Balboa. The script was raw and heartfelt, and it captured the underdog spirit Stallone knew all too well. Once the script was complete, Stallone began shopping it around Hollywood. Producers were interested, but they had one condition. They wanted someone else to play Rocky. Can you imagine? It was a personal story so deeply tied to Stallone's life, and they tried to hand it over to a big-name star. Stallone stood his ground, even when offered a significant sum of money for the script alone. He famously said, "If I sell this script, I'll have no part of my soul left." Eventually, United Artists agreed to let him star in the film, but with a catch: the budget would be tight. This wasn't going to be a glamorous production. Stallone was fine with that. He wasn't looking for luxury, he was looking for a chance. Box office success and critical acclaim. When Rocky hit theaters in 1976, it didn't just resonate, it exploded. The film became a box office sensation, grossing over $225 million worldwide on a shoestring budget of just $1 million. Audiences connected deeply with the story of an underdog boxer who refused to give up, no matter the odds. Critics couldn't stop talking about it either. The film earned 10 Academy Award nominations, including Best Actor for Stallone. It went on to win 3 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. Stallone, the man who had once been turned away from auditions because of his slurred speech and unique look, was now the face of one of the most celebrated films of the decade. The character of Rocky Balboa became an instant icon. Rocky wasn't just a boxer, he was a symbol of perseverance and hope. The film's training montage, set to Bill Conti's unforgettable score, became the stuff of legend. Who doesn't get chills watching Rocky run up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art? That scene alone cemented its place in cinematic history. With Rocky, Stallone wasn't just playing a role, he was living it. The parallels between Stallone's real-life struggles and Rocky's journey were undeniable. Both were fighters, clawing their way out of obscurity, fueled by nothing more than grit and determination. Rocky Balboa quickly became more than a character. He became a cultural touchstone, representing the idea that hard work and heart could overcome even the toughest obstacles. The phrase, "Yo, Adrian," entered the pop culture lexicon, and Rocky's image, gloves raised in victory, became a global symbol of triumph. Rocky didn't just make Stallone a household name, it solidified his status as a leading man. Suddenly, the actor who couldn't catch a break was one of Hollywood's hottest stars. His performance as Rocky showed the world that Stallone wasn't just another action star. He had depth, vulnerability, and a raw emotional power that set him apart. Opportunities started pouring in. Stallone became known not just for his acting but also for his screenwriting. He proved that he wasn't a one-hit wonder with films like Rambo and Cobra, but it was always Rocky who stayed closest to his heart. The success of Rocky inevitably led to sequels, 7 of them to be exact, so far. Each installment expanded Rocky's story, taking audiences on a journey through his highs and lows. From defending his title in Rocky II, to facing the unbeatable Clubber Lang in Rocky III, and even taking on the Cold War in Rocky IV, Stallone kept the character fresh and compelling. While some sequels received mixed reviews, the heart of the franchise never wavered. Rocky remained an underdog at his core, even when he was a champion. The later films, particularly Rocky Balboa and the Creed spin-offs, brought a new layer of depth to the character. They showed a more reflective Rocky, a man who had fought his battles and was now passing the torch to a new generation. Through it all, Stallone never lost his connection to Rocky. He once said, "Rocky is my alter ego. He's what I could have been if I hadn't been blessed with certain opportunities." That sentiment resonates with fans because Rocky feels real. He's not just a movie character, he's an embodiment of the human spirit. Rocky wasn't just a career breakthrough for Stallone, it was a cultural phenomenon that continues to inspire millions. The film's message, that with enough determination anyone can overcome life's obstacles, remains as powerful today as it was in 1976. For Stallone, Rocky was more than a role. It was a defining moment. It took him from obscurity to stardom and gave him a platform to share his talent with the world. And for audiences, Rocky Balboa will always be a reminder that no matter how tough life gets, there's always a reason to keep fighting. When you think of action heroes, Sylvester Stallone is one of the first names that comes to mind. While Rocky made him an icon, it was another character, one with a grittier, more intense edge, that cemented his place in Hollywood's Action Hall of Fame: John Rambo. Rambo wasn't your typical action hero. He wasn't flashy or full of witty one-liners. He was raw, intense, and deeply human, a man shaped by the scars of war. Stallone brought that character to life in 1982's First Blood, and it was a game-changer. The first film in the franchise, First Blood, introduced audiences to John Rambo, a Vietnam War veteran struggling to adjust to civilian life. He wasn't a one-dimensional action star. Rambo was a man grappling with PTSD, and Stallone's performance added depth to a role that could have easily been reduced to just another soldier shooting his way out of trouble. But let's not forget the action. Once the story kicked into high gear, Rambo's survival skills and unrelenting determination made for some of the most thrilling sequences ever seen. The film wasn't just about explosions, resilience, and a fight against injustice. Audiences were hooked. First Blood was a massive box office hit, earning over $125 million worldwide. The success paved the way for a franchise that spanned decades, with Stallone reprising his role in 4 sequels: Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo, and Rambo, Last Blood. Each installment upped the ante, delivering bigger action sequences and cementing Rambo's status as one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history. The Rambo films didn't just entertain, they shaped the entire action genre. Stallone's portrayal of Rambo redefined what it meant to be an action hero. He wasn't just a guy with a gun. He was a complex character with a backstory that gave weight to every fight he fought. Rambo became the blueprint for the lone wolf action hero, inspiring countless imitators. From the way Stallone carried himself to the iconic red headband, Rambo became a symbol of rugged individualism. The action genre owes a lot to Stallone's work in these films. He set a standard for blending explosive action with genuine emotion, and filmmakers have been trying to replicate that magic ever since. While Stallone could have easily been typecast as Rocky or Rambo, he refused to be boxed in. His filmography proves that he's much more than just an action star. In the 1980s and 1990s, Stallone branched out with films like Cobra, where he played a tough-as-nails cop, and Tango and Cash, a buddy cop action comedy showcasing his lighter, humorous side. He even ventured into science fiction with Demolition Man, where he battled Wesley Snipes in a futuristic dystopia. But Stallone didn't stop at action films. He showed his versatility in dramas like Copland, where he played a small-town sheriff caught in a web of corruption. Critics praised his performance, calling it one of the best of his career. It was a reminder that Stallone wasn't just muscles and action sequences. He had the acting chops to take on serious roles too. Stallone worked with some of Hollywood's most respected filmmakers throughout his career. In Cliffhanger, directed by Rennie Harlin, he played a mountain climber facing off against ruthless criminals in a high-altitude thriller. The film's breathtaking stunts and Stallone's intense performance made it another box office success. Stallone also teamed up with director James Mangold for Copland. Mangold, who would go on to direct hits like Logan and Ford v Ferrari, brought out a more subdued, introspective side of Stallone. The collaboration reminded audiences of Stallone's range as an actor. What makes Stallone's career so impressive is his ability to balance blockbuster franchises with passion projects. While he's known for larger-than-life roles, he's never been afraid to take risks or explore new genres. For instance, Stallone wrote and directed Staying Alive, 1983, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. While the film received mixed reviews, it demonstrated Stallone's willingness to step behind the camera and expand his creative horizons. Today, Stallone is celebrated as one of Hollywood's most enduring stars. His work in the Rambo franchise made him an action icon, but his diverse filmography proves that he's so much more than that. Whether he's playing a boxer, a soldier, or a cop, Stallone brings a level of authenticity and heart to every role. Physical transformation and aging. Sylvester Stallone's career has been as much about his physical presence as his acting chops. From the shredded boxer in Rocky to the battle-hardened soldier in Rambo, his physique became a defining part of his brand. But time, as it does to all of us, has left its mark, and Stallone's transformation over the decades has sparked conversations, speculations, and admiration. Hollywood isn't exactly known for embracing the aging process, especially for stars who built their careers on action-packed roles. Stallone has faced the same scrutiny. Over the years, fans have noticed the natural changes in his appearance, lines, wrinkles, and the subtle softening of a once-chiseled face. These are the marks of a life well lived. But in the world of Hollywood, they often invite questions. Some have speculated about potential health issues given his grueling physical roles and high-octane stunts. Stallone has always been candid about the toll his career has taken on his body. He's broken bones, undergone surgeries, and pushed himself to the limit in the name of authentic performances. These aren't just the signs of aging. They're badges of honor earned through decades of dedication. Of course, Stallone has also made efforts to maintain his appearance. He's acknowledged undergoing procedures to address facial asymmetry, something he's dealt with since birth due to nerve damage caused by complications during delivery. This vulnerability, being open about something so personal, has only made fans respect him more. But like many in Hollywood, Stallone hasn't escaped rumors of cosmetic enhancements. Speculations about facelifts, Botox, and other procedures have followed him for years. While he hasn't confirmed these, it's clear that Stallone is as meticulous about his image as he is about his craft.